धन्यवाद विजय जी and अमृतवाणी जी. अहं प्रतिदिनं षट्वादने
उत्तिष्ठामि
उत्तिष्ठामि. तदनन्तरं नववादने कार्यशालां गच्छामि.
बहु समीचीनम्. Excellent.
धन्यवाद. Thank you for an excellent session and Radhe Radhe everyone. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to another day of Bhagavad Gita, Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita session. And hope you all enjoyed the excellent celebrations of the Jagat Gurutam Divas in this weekend. And over to you, Nitinji. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Sandhya. Thank you. Thank you, Vijay ji, for a beautiful session. Aham केंद्रीय समय अनुसार नववादने भगवद गीता सत्रम गृह्णामि.
Very nice. That's on point, totally.
All right. Thank you for the beautiful session. Welcome everybody to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Hope you had a great weekend and enjoyed the celebrations here at temple. We had 3 of them over the same weekend. Okay, by now it must not be surprising to you, okay, even if it becomes half a dozen. So I hope you enjoyed each one of those, including our quiz and Antakshri and Goda Devi celebration and Jagat Gurutam Divas celebration and Swamiji's speech and so many good things. So welcome again. Today we will continue on our journey on the symptoms of bhakti that we were talking about. And we'll also touch upon why do we celebrate Jagat Gurutam Divas a little bit for the benefit of participants who may have missed the session or may have want to know a little bit more about that. And then continue on our journey on the topic of bhakti that we have picked up over the last few days. Today I picked up a new shloka. It's a very interesting shloka in the sense how God is relaying it to Arjun in the manner that he's doing. Okay, we'll have a little bit of a talk around that as well. So let's get started. Very warm welcome to all of you. If you are new to the session, you can fill in on our feedback tracker or mention it in the chat. We'd love to know more about you. And let's get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru. So let me share my screen and we will get underway. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So let's get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Tam Sachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. Radhe Radhe everyone. So let's get started. Today we are going to okay, let me first get into the shloka, what we are going to discuss. So we're going to continue on our journey on the symptoms of Bhav Bhakti. What are the different symptoms? Not necessarily milestones. I was looking at it. I think it gives an impression that you go from one stage to another. Not necessarily. These are all the symptoms of Bhav Bhakti that we can actually get to know. What are the different stages? One has to, not stages, but what are the different things that will start manifesting as you keep progressing in bhakti. And it's a good self-evaluation as well to see how many of those symptoms have we started exhibiting. We may not know it completely, may have a semblance understanding of it, but then God and Guru are aware of it. At what stage with regards to your progression, how far you have progressed on that. And also we will talk briefly about Jagat Gurutam Divas as well. So let me go back to the shloka that I have introduced today. It's related to Bhakt because we're talking the topic of Bhakti. And let's recite it and get started with this. I'm going to recite it. You're welcome to follow along. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. All right. Do we have volunteers?
Yes, Samji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शाश्वत शान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्त प्रणश्यति.
Wonderful. Very nice, Samji.
Radhe Radhe, Shamji.
Radhe Shyamji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranishyati. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Shyamji. Very nice. Thank you.
Rahul ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Rahul.
क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीने मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति. राधे राधे.
Radhe Radhe. Very nice. Thank you.
You are all encouraged to turn on your videos. I will be giving preference to the ones who have kept it on right now. Sumesh Kumar ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
संध्या जी, राधे राधे नितिन जी.
Radhe Radhe Sumesh.
भवति धर्मात्मा स्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति.
Wonderful.
राधे
Thank you, Sumesh ji. Radhe Radhe.
Samji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वत शांति निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि नामे भक्ता प्रणश्यति. राधे राधे.
Very nice, Samji. Radhe Radhe.
Aparna ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
राधे राधे. क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति.
Wonderful. Very nice. Thank you.
All right. Anita ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
राधे राधे.
Radhe Radhe.
क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Ji, Radhe Radhe. All right. We'll pick up the remaining three. What I'm thinking of doing is, again, I'll take your interest in reciting shlokas. You can put it in feedback tracker. That way, at least you'll fill it out. And I'll spin the wheel so we can take 5 to 7 and keep rotating so that everybody gets chance. Okay. So top 5 will pick up the lucky ones every day. All right. Based on if you have expressed your interest in the feedback tracker. All right. Let's pick up the remaining hands.
It looks like spinning the wheel is Nitinji's favorite activity these days, right?
Yeah. I'm looking for all the opportunities wherever I can spin it. So this might be okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Radhe Radhe Sagi ji, please go ahead.
राधे राधे.
Radhe Radhe.
क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति.
Wonderful, Pragi ji. Very nice. All right. We can cover the remaining 3 hands.
Riya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Riya ji.
क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्त प्रणश्यति.
Wonderful. Very nice. All right. Remaining.
Yes, Golab ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Golab ji.
राधे राधे.
Radhe Radhe everyone. Kipram bhavati dharmatma sachanti nigacchati pante pratijanihi name bhakta name bhakta prasyanti.
Thank you, Gorakji. All right, last but not the least, Sandhya, go ahead.
Yeah. क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कान्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति.
Wonderful. So let's get started. Like I said, we are discussing the topic of bhakti, so I'm picking up shlokas selectively related to bhakti or bhaktas. Now, this one is a very important shloka. Not that others are not, but then this one I particularly like because what Lord Krishna is saying in it, he's saying, quickly they become virtuous and attain lasting peace. He's talking about bhaktas. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that no devotee of mine is ever lost. Now, Lord Krishna could have stated the same himself, but he's telling Arjun to declare it. Okay, and the reason for that is that, see, what is the stature of devotee in God's eyes? Let's understand this from the shloka. If you are a true bhakta, God is called Bhakta Vatsal. Now, he's asking Arjun to say it so that he's locking in his commitment here. Why? Because under special circumstances, God can break his promise, as we have seen in Mahabharata and other occasions also. God plays around within certain areas, right? And he could break his promise under special circumstances, like he did on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Now, he had taken a vow not to lift a weapon. However, when Bhishma Pitama had taken a vow that he's either going to kill Arjun or make Krishna break his vow, that day Krishna broke his vow. So God could break his vow to glorify his devotee, or to take care of his devotee, or to enable his devotee to hold on to their vow. But when God takes his vow himself, no, he makes his devotee take a vow, he'll never make his devotee fail. So that is why instead of stating it himself, he's telling Arjun to state it so that God's commitment is locked with regards to giving virtuosity and lasting peace to his devotee. And he's saying, declare it boldly that no devotee of mine is ever lost. That is the commitment God is giving through this shloka, which is a huge deal. See, with regards to God, there are different ways we can approach it, right? If we become, God is called Bhakta Vatsal. So if we become perfect devotees, of course, we'll draw his grace, love, affection. Or we become Patit. There, God is also called Patit Pavan. Then also he will have to intervene and take care of us. Or we become Deen, completely humble, Nirashrit. Then God also has to intervene and take care of us. He's called a Deen Bandhu. So in this case, he's talking about a perfect, basically around Bhakta. That no Bhakta of his is ever lost. That means he personally takes care of them. Right? In order to become a Bhakta, that's what we are talking about, the Bhakti. What are the different symptoms that manifest as you progress on this path? And that is where we'll continue our discussion. So let's get started. Like I said, we are going to cover these two topics today. So let's start with Jagat Gurutam to begin with. Why do we celebrate? I think you would have enjoyed the celebrations that happened and Swamiji's speech on that. So I wanted to add a little bit, reiterate the same so that for the benefit of people who probably would have missed out or didn't catch the gist of it. Why do we celebrate Jagat Gurutam Divas? It happened on Jan 14th. That's why we celebrated on Jan 14th, 1957. Okay, an historical event took place. So what happened was, now Maharajji, he was a dissension, okay, and he was special in a lot of ways. But then I'll briefly sum up the events leading up to him getting coronated as Jagat Guru Tam, not just Jagat Guru, Jagat Guru Tam. Okay. So initial days, he would only take along his satsangis and do bhajan and kirtan, right, like people do. And one of the common misconceptions about bhajan and kirtan, as we know, is it's people who don't understand knowledge, they do that. So just understand, it's the same Maharaj used to do that. However, because when the saints descend, their plan unfolds and it takes hundreds of years for that to unfold. He initiated by having a convention in Chitrakoot, where he was a Swagat Adhyaksh. Basically, he was only supposed to receive people. He did not even participate in that and pose some questions. Anyways, as the legend of story would have it, he was asked to speak on the same questions which the big Gaddi Dhari Jagat Gurus and others could not answer to the satisfaction of the audience. And he would speak last, and when he would speak, people would just come and they will throng in masses, and then they would do Sankirtan till 2 a.m. in the morning on the boats, and so those kind of things would happen. And then he conducted another convention in Kanpur, where he invited very eminent scholars there. And one of the eminent scholars there was our Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan as well, who went on to become President of India, first President of India. And in one of the persons who was invited in Kanpur in that convention was Raj Narayan Shastri, who was a Shat Darshan Shastri. That means he knew all the Shat Darshans, and he was a vice president of Kashi Vishwa Vidwat Parishad at that point. He was invited to that as well. Okay. And then in that convention, he was sent by Kashi Vishwapit that this young guy, 32, he was the Maharajji, 32, 34 years old. He was that, he's known to be a big scholar. Why don't you go and actually put him in place? And that is where he came. And when he came, when Maharajji started speaking, he sat down with a pen and pencil to find out mistakes in, what mistakes he's going to do, because these people have spent their entire lifetime in this study of scriptures. But when Maharajji started speaking, he was spellbound. He could not do anything at all. And next day, he said, okay, I'm going to speak before Maharajji. And when he started speaking, Maharajji returned the favor. He sat down with a pen and pencil. That, okay, it's now my turn. But this guy had only good things to say about Maharajji, that he has never come across something like this, because Kashi Vishwa Parishad is known to challenge people, taunt people, give them a tough time, and they don't accept anybody as a scholar. However, just to formalize this, he invited him over to Kashi Vishwa Parishad. And when Maharajji went there, he was escorted by two men who were elderly to him, and he was apparently a young man. He sat between them in the ambassador car, and they looked at him and smirked at him. Looks like, you have come here for some kind of a Shastrarth. He said, yeah, I've come here to settle the score for all the, things we have done to the previous saints, right? They are notorious, Kashi Vishwa. They don't agree, just like that. So anyways, he was confronted with 500 scholars, and each scholar had spent their entire lifetime in study of one scriptures, and he was presented with 100 of such literary scriptures that he could be questioned on anything by anybody. So anyway, Maharajji started doing that, and the very first day he started cutting all the scriptures. They said, first he started speaking in basic schoolboy Sanskrit, and people said, what kind of a person we have gotten here? Here it's a sabha of such big vidwans, and he's speaking kid Sanskrit here, right? And that was Maharajji's sense of humor, or the way he used to operate. But by the sixth day, he started talking in Sanskrit, which was Vedic Sanskrit, which is called Saraswat grammar. It has its own grammar, Saraswat grammar, Kamadhenu grammar, and about 300 scholars only knew it in the world at that point in time. Okay, and when he started speaking, he started doing Khandan. Khandan means he would cut Ved with Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita with Ved, Ramayana with Mahabharat, Mahabharat with Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam with this, and they said what kind of Nastik he is. So Khandan he would do, and then he would do Mandan, he would reconcile. He say, no, everybody is saying right. That is why we keep on talking about that this study cannot be carried out as a Swadhyay alone. If you start reading scriptures, it will confuse you and you will become an Astik, because you will say this confuses, this says this says that, this says, and he did exactly the same. And none of the scholars could actually defend it. They had to agree. And then he started doing Mandan. And similarly, by Khandan Mandan, he's continued to expound on the philosophy of all the scriptures. And then these people were spellbound. They could not, forget about finding some kind of a loophole in his, what he was preaching or telling about, quoting the scriptures. They were not able to understand most part of it because the Sanskrit that he was using was very sophisticated. So then they had two options, either to defeat him in Shastrat or to accept him as Jagat Guru. And when they finally did, they did not only accepted him as a Jagat Guru. There were 4 original Jagat Gurus. There are lot of Jagat Gurus these days. If you go to, especially in South India, they are called Gaddidhari Jagat Gurus. Okay. But the true Jagat Gurus is the one which are acknowledged by Kashi Vishwa, and they don't do that so easily. Even Swami Vivekananda had gone there. He's mentioned that in his autobiography. And after Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Nimbarkacharya, and Madhvacharya, he was accorded this particular thing, and not only Jagat Guru but Jagat Guru Tam, because he was able to reconcile all the philosophies, and Bhakti Rasavatar as well, because all the philosophy that we are studying right now is given by him. All the deeper secrets of Bhakti that nowhere else you will get that understanding are coming in from Maharajji only, and Swamiji, his Hanumanji for that matter, who's taken it, made it so palatable for all of us to consume it and discuss it on a day-to-day basis. And that is how he got that status. And on this particular historic day, that's why we celebrate Jagat Gurutam Divas. Now, scholars, they were so spellbound, they did not, it was like, how is it even possible a human being who's 34 years old can understand all these scriptures? Not possible. So then they thought he might have done some kind of a kaya kalp, right? Through siddhis, you can do that. So they went to his home village, hometown, check on his mother, that, okay, is he somebody who was born 500, 600 years ago? Because how can you study all these scriptures just like that? So apparently they came to know nothing like that, okay? So the Nimn, or the most lowest form of following a guru, is looking at miracles that they can perform. So he would never do all these things, okay? Although people who were closely associated with him understood. They would see divinity manifest in so many ways, but publicly he would never do that. And one of the things that people talk about him is that, see, Pratyaksh Pramana that you can see is, if you have listened to any of his lectures, he knows every scripture of Sanatan Dharam, every page, every shloka, every bibliographical, which is humanly not possible. Only a dissension can do that. So he's not, whenever you hear script, discourses, he will quote it from scriptures, so that tomorrow people will not come and question, why is he saying that? Why should we believe him? And that was the reason he actually even took that title, not that he needed it for that matter, just to have a position of authority, so that when this Sanatan Dharam is looked at in details, they would actually have some bona fide authority to refer to. How is it humanly possible for somebody to know every scripture from every page of every literature that is possibly, is there in Sanatan Dharma, with so many darshans and so many, Puranas and pretty much everything. Anywhere, if you've come across any of his lectures, you will be amazed to see how he's able to pull it out just like that. It is said when he would recite or he would give a discourse, the Rijhas and all these Vedic mantras would descend in front of him and say, okay, take our seva, and he'll pick and choose. Okay, I'll take your seva today, I'll take your seva today, kind of a deal. So that was his stature. And also another few things, people who know that, they would know that his Charnamrita, they say even anything which somebody's washed his feet, that water, actually there are scientists as his devotees who were of scientific temperament. They've actually tested it, okay, by keeping it in lab and checking that water for multiple years, and it does not putrefy. Even now, it is circulated around that it never putrefies. Anyways, there are too many stories, we'll not get into that. But the point here is 14 January was the day when he was given this title, and that is why we celebrate it. And we are extremely fortunate because it was a Kripa avatar called after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the next avatar, and where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had left, that's where he continued. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's was Nam Sankirtan he popularized, and Kripaluji Maharaj, he actually took it to the next level. We said Nam Sankirtan, couple it with remembrance also. And then Tattva Gyan also he started mixing, because without knowledge, people can actually take a U-turn or fall down even in spirituality because their knowledge is not pakka. So that can happen. So he actually took it to the next level and filled in some of the gaps. And it is said there are going to be 3 avatars, one more. I don't know much about it, but I don't know. It might take it to the next level, or maybe there might be another need around that period of time. So anyway, that was a quick on this thing. Now let's back to our topic of discussion that we have been discussing. So we're talking about bhakti. And in bhakti, we spoke about sadhan bhakti, right? This is where we start our efforts, where we are preparing the vessel. Now, the peak of sadhan bhakti is bhav bhakti. Now, the difference between these two, we'll talk about. It's a quick one. And the goal, this is the goal of bhav bhakti. Then the bhav bhakti, you have started climbing another mountain. Okay, this is all your self-effort alone. Now, within bhav bhakti, the goal of bhav bhakti is Siddha Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, or Para Bhakti. Okay. Now, so this becomes the goal, and it is the perfection of your Bhav Bhakti. What happens in this is, in Sadhan Bhakti, you are attached to world, you take your mind to God. In Bhav Bhakti, the reverse starts happening. Your mind is in God, and you have to operate to, you have to take a step back to operate effectively in the world. Your material desires, they keep on diminishing, as you can see, as you keep on progressing in your sadhan bhakti. And in bhav bhakti, they go to another level where that desire becomes so intense that even a second seems like an age. Okay. And that's when you get basically God's grace. And from that point onwards, Prema Bhakti, once you get, there are different levels for that as well. But then that happens in autopilot mode, all through God's grace. As a human, or as a jeev, we have to do sadhan bhakti and bhav bhakti, and from that point onwards, God takes care of the subsequent bhaktis. We'll talk about those as well, the different stages that you go through even after you get the prema bhakti. Okay, and prema bhakti is just one. Basically, we'll talk about it more. So this is what we're talking about, and the preparatory devotion is to remove the attraction from material objects from the world. That is the simulation we are trying to run as part of our sadhan bhakti. Okay. Now, you look at it, Bhakti Ras, this is where this is described in PRS, Bhakti Ras Sindhu, by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, Kshantir avyartha kalatvam virakti man shunyata ashaband samutkantha nam gane sadaruchi asakti tad gunakhyane प्रीति तद वस्ति स्थले इत्यादो अनुभवास्तु चात भावांकुरे जने. So these are the symptoms that he has given in Bhav Bhakti that a devotee feels as that devotee continues to progress on this path. We started with these symptoms, we will continue on that journey. Now, Sadhan Bhakti, quick recap on that. It means practice. It is an elementary stage where you do Roop Dhyan. When you come in contact with the Rasik Saint, you understand the process of that. And as you gradually reach higher stage, your regularity and sincerity starts increasing because of the bliss you start getting. Right? All the ecstasy and those feelings, they starts increasing. And with prolonged practice, this becomes increasingly easy. And then at one point, it becomes something that becomes a part of your routine. Like you eat food, you can't let go of it. There are no ups and downs in life which can hamper this sadhana. But to reach that stage, it takes initial effort and consistency and that sincerity that God requires. Okay. And then when you do that, the next stage comes as a Bhav Bhakti, which is what we are talking about, the symptoms that start manifesting when you reach Bhav Bhakti. Okay. But these are the stages where you are not godalized. Let's make it, let me understand, and we have to do it through our efforts. Let's get into that. We spoke about these basically symptoms. All these symptoms, they start manifesting, and the key thing is, we'll get into that no amount of penance or devotional practice can give rise to these symptoms. That means if any amount can give rise to these symptoms, that becomes the price tag for that. And this is priceless because it is dependent on God's grace. And we cannot put a price tag on God's grace. Okay. Only God knows when to bestow that, when the vessel has been prepared. We cannot say, I've done so much, so my vessel is prepared. God knows that. And Prema Bhakti is the peak of this. And Bhav Bhakti is only one ray of the sun called Prema Bhakti. That means Prema Bhakti has so many facets to it. We will explore that as well in subsequent sessions. Now let's start with symptoms that we spoke about. It's called Shanti. Okay, it's different from Shanti. That word, maybe it adds the peace aspect to it as well, tranquility as well. So this is the first symptom that comes. So basically the acid test or the litmus test for that is you have a reason for anxiety and still you don't have it. Right? That when we don't have a reason for anxiety and we are peaceful, that is fine. But when you have a reason and you are still not anxious, that is the true test of it. So one of the extreme situations could be one's whole family and wealth is annihilated in a split second and they don't lose their cool and level-headedness. It's a pretty extreme situation, right, in this material world. Then the person is said to have attained Shanti. So this is the first symptom. Not first, I should say, one of the symptoms. Another symptom we spoke about is Avyat Kalatvam, in which every moment spent without loving remembrance of God is a waste of time. So you start feeling a little uncomfortable with the idea of having wasted so much of time or wasting so much of time. Every moment spent without loving remembrance of God becomes that, it's a pretty big stage to be in. That means you would automatically optimize your day-to-day life. You will cut down on stuff of gossiping and talking stuff that's not adding value and stuff like that, or deepening your practice even when you are operating in the world to figure out triggers for yourself to remember God. That kind of a feeling will start intensifying because you understand the value of time at that point. Okay, that is another symptom. Then the next one we spoke about was Virakti. This is a very important symptom. Seeker does not desist from sensual play. He has natural inclination for enjoying the objects of sensual pleasure. So these are the five senses and these are the objects, right? Not limited to these, but so then what happens is the seeds, they start getting burnt. So one way of desisting or resisting from sensual object is to exercise your willpower. That I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to keep sweets in my refrigerator because if I do, I can't help it. But in this stage, you don't need that. The seeds of your, the sense objects that you feel craving for, those are burnt itself. They start getting burnt. So they don't, even if they get the favorable environment, the seed gets fertilizer, sunlight, air, water, it still does not sprout. Why? Because it is burnt. That's what starts happening. That's the beauty of bhakti. It starts burning the seeds. A jnani cannot claim that. A ashtang yogi or a hatha yogi cannot claim that. They are doing it by forceful exertion of their willpower. Seeds are still there. They may be dormant, but they are still there. Okay, and only in bhakti, the root itself is addressed, not just the symptom, by forceful exertion of our mind. The next one we spoke about, man shunyata. I think, yeah, this is what we want to talk about from today. I think we covered till that. The seeker genuinely respects others, but has no desire of being respected by anyone, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given a beautiful verse in his Shishtashtakam. He says that, Trinadapi sunichen tarorapi sahishnuna amanena manadena kirtiniya sadahari. So amanena manadena, the third part is where you don't seek respect for yourself. You want to give respect to others. This is a big milestone, so to say, if we can crack it in our head, right? But because naturally what happens is you want to hear good things about yourself and you want people to call you good. So our focus is more on being called good than genuinely becoming good, right? Because of our past lives practice. And in this stage, man shunyata means you just don't desire anything, any praise or any kind of validation from anybody. You are just absorbed in God. That's about it. And he's the doer and he's the person who is enabling you. You just have that firm conviction in your head, and only thing you can do is give respect to others because you start seeing divinity in them. You see them as somebody, your Shyam Sundar is seated within them as well. So that's where this symptom starts manifesting, where you just have a loving heart for all, respectful heart for people around, right? Because you are so absorbed in that, and that's the only thing you can offer. So this symptom starts happening as well. It's a great stage to be in if you think about it, right? How nice it would be. It's such a big freedom of mind where all the ailments, material ailments of anger, jealousy, and all that stuff starts subsiding by the root itself. Great stage to be in. Fine. The next one is Asha. So Asha ji, if you are there, it's a great place to be in, okay? In this stage, the seeker has an unwavering positive attitude, firm belief that he will attain divine grace of Sri Krishna and will get to behold his divine vision. Now you are so firmly, you are convinced it will happen. In Bhav Bhakti, they said Krishna is like, we know he's a prankster, Trivangi Lal. He may show you a vision, just a big small jhalak, just to give you a chocolate like we give, right? Sometimes. So Bhakt is like, okay, I'm convinced I'm going to see it today. I'll not name. Some of the devotees have tried it in, right? They who attend the session, seeing Krishna, that, okay, now he's going to come, now it's going to come. So people actually have that faith. We are going to see it. And that is a very firm faith. And that fills their heart with enthusiasm and positivity, because they have that conviction that he will manifest. He has to manifest. Okay, there's no way he can afford not to come in front of us. Okay, so that thing starts deepening. Right? Eventually, it is going to lead to a stage, right? We know the perfection of Bhav Bhakti is where you say, one moment without you and I am not going to live anymore. Not that you do anything bad to yourself. It's like, okay, my life years will go. Krishna will know it intuitively. He's seated within. So he'll not let your life years go, just like evaporate, just like that. But look at it. This Asha is such a big thing. Then they are not pessimist or sad or negative in life for anything, because they have something super special to look forward to. Imagine if you see, when you have something very special, somebody is coming whom you love, would you become pessimistic in life or dejected or negative? No, you are counting your days for that. Shabri counted it for 40 years, I believe. Her guru had told that Ram Bhagwan will come and meet you. She waited patiently for 40 years, and every day she will sweep that way that, okay, maybe today's my day, maybe today. So Asha, optimism, hope is the big, what do you call that, virtue a devotee carries. They are always optimistic. They never become negative about life, pessimistic about life, because they have a bigger goal and they are firm in their conviction that is going to happen. So this is a big thing to actually achieve and work towards. Then Samutkantha. Samutkantha is where that eagerness has started increasing. Okay. Of course, when you start contemplating on somebody and you are madly in love with somebody, that eagerness is the natural thing. You just want to meet them. People rave for movie stars, right? Have you seen people how they go and start beating their heads and not whatnot when the rock stars come and all? That is a Samutkantha on the material side. Okay, misplaced Samutkantha. But this is Samutkantha, eagerness to see God. And you start seeing Lord Krishna as you see a mirror. Sometimes you see a mirror, hazy mirror, where you know it's your face. Only when you wipe it off, you see yourself. Like that, you start seeing Krishna. That, okay, once this layer is gone, I will see him in entirety. That stage you start reaching in Bhav Bhakti. So even a sound of a leaf rustling, you think, okay, now he's there. He might be there. So just imagine that state. So how nice it would be to have, right? If anybody of you have experienced that, please do share. Okay, it'll inspire all of us, because it's a pretty fascinating state to be in, where you are like, every action that is happening, oh my God, it might be Krishna, right? Maharaj Ji said when he went to the forest, he actually saw an old man. Okay, he had no teeth, no hair, little bit of hair maybe, very old, wrinkled guy, a comb and a broken mirror, and combing his hair, looking at the mirror. Maharaj Ji, so what's going on? Maybe he had gone to meet that, some Rasik devotee. He said, my Priyatam can come any moment, I better be ready. That was his devotional state. So just imagine what stage that person, people are in when they think that, God is going to manifest any moment. I'm just about to see him. Okay, so that is the state of Samutkantha. We feel it in material world for material people, which is highly misplaced. But just imagine when you start feeling it for Krishna with a belief that, I almost saw him. I almost saw him. It's just like a small haze is separating his darshan from my eyes. Like we see a mirror with mist and cloud sometimes, and we wipe it off and the face reveals. That kind of feeling starts happening. Then now eagerness, just imagine the eagerness of a devotee at that point when it's like so close and yet so far. Then Naam Gaan Me Ruchi is also, that's anyway very, very natural, right? When you are in love with somebody, all you want to do is talk about them. So it's no different in this as well, right? With God, where no matter how much you have spoken about them, you never lose interest. People say what's going on, everything Krishna, 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 what's Krishna? But you don't lose interest in them because you want to talk more and more, because you are so much in love with them. That intensity is so much that all that you want to do is talk about your beloved or Krishna only. So this is another symptom in Bhav Bhakti. You would have come across people, right? Everything they will tie it to Krishna or God. And it might be annoying to a lot of people, but just imagine their bhav. And I was reading, there was a devotee who would, he had taken his devotion to this level that whenever he would even travel, do an air travel, he'll book two tickets, one for himself and second for Krishna, that he's accompanying me and I need to have him seated right next to me, and I have a firm belief he's seated next to me. So he booked two tickets. That's the level of his bhav. He's willing to dole out an extra ticket, whatever it costs, because has that belief that my Lord is with me always. Okay. So Naam Gaan Me Ruchi. And then it's no longer a tourism, okay? Okay, no, we are getting into Gungan now. Gungan is there where, like I said, when you speak about name, you want to just rave about them. Thirst for the glories of Shyam Sundar. Like Krishna is very popular. Even in Mongolia and Russia, we have a temple for him, right? And then you just revel in listening to and telling people about the ecstatic pastimes day and night, and your thirst goes even more and more and more and more. So I was listening to one of the, like I said, the Leelas that Maharajji's depicts about Krishna. Now we see that act in small kids and pretty much every day, but the way he was explaining that Ras itself is so much. He says 6 jhankis, Krishna yawning, then Krishna pretending to sleep because he wants some extra sleep, then mother giving him a push to make him sit, and then making sure he doesn't fall, and then making him stand and giving him support and making him walk. Those jhankis have so much of bliss. We can't understand what's the big deal when we have seen so many kids doing that. But that is the level of bliss a devotee feels when you get into that bhav bhakti. Every act of your beloved is like a treasured possession at that. Oh my God. See, if God kills demons, that's not news. See, if a dog bites human, that's not news. If a human bites dog, then it becomes a news, right? Breaking news in our channels. So if God is lifting a mountain or killing demons, that's not a big deal. It's God. But when God does these leelas, right, with his devotees and these pastimes, then it becomes very, very sweet. And that is where the saints, they revel and relish that. And devotees, they cannot have enough of it. That is the Gunagan part of it. And the last but not the least symptom is Leela Sthal Prem. Now, this Leela Sthal Prem is not like doing the Char Dham, tick, 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 tick. Okay. You are actually in awe and reverence of the places where your God had gone. Okay, my goodness, God had walked through this place. That kind of an emotion. And you will, probably feel was that, okay, this is the same place. Maybe I'm breathing the air at the same place where Lord had, breathed that as well. Those kind of sentiments start coming towards the Leela Sthal place. It's not like, yes, I've been to this place, I've been to that place, I've gone to all the places. You actually start understanding, the significance of those places where Leelas have taken place. So I would probably love to do tour with Swamiji. He used to do that in the past. And we would show all the places in Vrindavan, not starting from, but including all the important ones where he did his Mati Leela or those Leelas. So it's like, you get into that feeling, maybe take your mind back 5,000 years. Okay, God was doing this Leela at this place. Wow, that feeling will start coming. So it's no longer a tourism, checklist tourism. I have done 4th teeth, 7th teeth, this teeth, doesn't matter. So that bhav will start happening. Jagannath, if you look at it, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he would look at just the Jagannath Murti, where he would put his hand, there are impressions there in the temple. Why? Because his sentiment will deepen so much that by the temperature of his body, the stone melt actually. And he would not come close to that Murti because so that his bhav will not get disrupted, seeing some kind of an imperfection in that face. That is how he was protected about that bhav. But look at his feeling, it is just a deity. His hand would become so warm that it melted the stone where he kept it, and that imprint is still there in the temple, I believe. So that is the level of intensity a devotee starts bringing to their sentiments. These are like extremely, advanced concepts and stages to be in Bhav Bhakti. That is why I would encourage some of people who have experienced that here. Quite possible. Please come forward and share it with us. We'd love to get inspired from you. We may have some Mahatmas here as well. So don't shy away. It's a closed group. Okay, you can always share that with us. All right. So these were some of the things. Yeah. Any questions so far? And then attention, the key thing to be understood in all these things. Okay. Okay, I've just to wake you up, okay, in case you have slept, okay, nothing big. So one thing is, this seeker practices devotion under the guidance of an authentic saint. It is through the saint's grace, these symptoms gradually manifest or sprout or get stronger. And they are kripa sadhya, they are divine gifts. Once you accept guardianship of a spiritual master or guru, without guru, you cannot ace these on your self-effort alone. It is a very, very important thing to understand. And please note this, no amount of penance or devotional practice can give rise to these symptoms. You can never have a sense of entitlement, no matter how much of penance or what you call that practice you might have done around it. The first is you have to accept the guardianship of a genuine saint, and then through their grace, God's grace comes via Guru. These symptoms can sprout and start manifesting on you. That is the prerequisite for it. Your self-effort is of paramount importance. Meeting a saint is of paramount importance. And then when your threshold starts coming to a certain level, God's grace via your guru is of paramount importance. All the three things are needed for you to even sprout or manifest any of these symptoms. All right, now I'll open it up for questions. Because we have not gone into Prema Bhakti, we have spoken about Bhav Bhakti, we'll get into Prema Bhakti as well. Yes, any questions?
Radhe Radhe. Okay,
Radhe.
Aparna ji. Radhe Radhe, Aparna ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Aparna ji.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So no, I just wanted to see the slides one more time, please. I think I missed a few slides. The symptom slides.
Okay, sure. The ones which all the symptoms?
I think I missed like 3. Yeah, this one. Yeah, and then I missed actually many. I have
No worries. So what
1, 5, 3, 4 I missed.
Okay, I can do that. So any questions in the meantime, I can play that again and again for you. Any questions on this topic, or before we get into some announcements and our devotional segment? I know it was a little loaded topic, but Bhakti is, you can imagine, it's a beautiful topic. We can go on for months on this topic itself. But we'll cover. What we'll do is, now we have covered the Bhav Bhakti, we'll get into Prema Bhakti now. What are the different levels in Prema Bhakti? And what are the pillars of Bhakti to begin with? Okay, we'll talk about that as well tomorrow. So by the way, I wanted to let you know, tomorrow we have a class, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm on travel, unfortunately. I hate to miss any classes, but I don't have a choice here. See, I need a job as well, right? So just to make sure I continue to have a job, I have to travel occasionally. And unfortunately, evenings are, I have no clarity, if I would be needed there. So just to be on the safer side, these 3 days, I'll terribly miss those classes, but we'll be off. I'll keep sharing the videos though, the past ones. But you can plan accordingly. These 3 days will not have classes. Tomorrow we do have a class. So, but then 3 days break will come. Yes, any questions?
Slide number 4 and 7 I missed.
Okay, sure.
In the meanwhile, can I go ahead and ask my question?
Sure.
So first of all, you explained these stages beautifully. Thank you for that. And so is it like in order to move to the next Prem Bhakti,
Yeah.
one will have to have all these stages being experienced simultaneously? Or I mean, and
Yeah. So basically, yeah, typically it is said that when you're in Bhav Bhakti, all these things will automatically happen. It's not possible that, you are progressing, you are having Virakti, but then no interest in Gungan. You are Gungan, but no fascination for the Leela Sthal. So one will reinforce the other. It's like a pack of noodles. You pick one, others will come as well. So you'll have all the symptoms that will sprout and manifest in you. It's like you fall in love with something, anything and everything related to that has to give you goosebumps at that point.
and once it comes, it will not go, or it can.
Bhav Bhakti, okay, Bhav Bhakti, yes. When you have perfected Bhav Bhakti, it will not go. But even in advanced stages of Bhav Bhakti, even if it's 99.9, you could fall down, if your Tattva Gyan is not proper. So we still have to protect our devotion, not have pride. I'm having this, my tears are coming, people. So all that stuff, that is a Tattva Gyan. You need a saint, a guidance. And then anyway, they will protect you. Once you're reaching, they protect you. You are now with Maharaj and all, they'll protect you. You have an insurance policy around that. But the point is, it's still not God realization. The knowledge comes in handy to know that all these things are happening. You may be having siddhis, but that doesn't mean you have become God realized. People fall down because of lack of knowledge, ignorance. You think it as a milestone. You are still work in progress. And then, of course, God will grace us at appropriate time. And then the job is done. And then once the job is done, there are still some levels. We'll talk about that. Okay. Prema Bhakti.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll move on to the raised hands. Shyamji.
Aparna, hope you got all that you will, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, Shyamji, please go ahead.
Nitin Bhai and Sandhya ji. Nitin Bhai, thank you so much for telling us about Maharajji's life story, life history. It's so good to know about his stature, his pastimes, and it's wonderful to be part of this group. And जैसे हम सब बात कर रहे थे भाव भक्ति के 7-8 symptoms की, 9 symptoms की, तो I would like to say that I am almost at symptom 4, where I'm Asha, as I always tell also, कि मुझे पूरा विश्वास है he has to meet me no matter what, and I know and I'm very much hopeful he will. And as I always say कि रूप गुणगान, and now as I told earlier also, okay, I love listening to his songs, and as nowadays we have this YouTube, it always gives you same genre of the songs. You start one and it will just repeating the same genre of songs. So it has shown me so much options of the Radha Krishna songs that I have no idea how many songs are there of his pastimes. And as the next symptom which was there about 7th symptom, no? 7th slide, I guess. 6th and 7th. No, 7th Naam Gan, I said, and 8th one is Gungan. I try to say his stories to my people around me, but at times people feel कि मैं पागल हो गया हूँ and I have no other work to do. It's okay with me. I just keep sharing my stories, my lessons with this group and all those things. But people think I've gone mad. I'm a direct bhav में आ गया हूँ मैं. That's with me. I just do not care about all those things now. But I am sure that this bhav bhakti की जो no symptoms है, it's मैं बड़ी बात नहीं बोल रहा, but I have got few of the symptoms and And I know that peak is Prem Bhakti, which I'm sure one day Krishna will bestow his grace upon me, and I'll be there, and I'm hopeful, and I have to be there. And nowadays, when I listen to all Bollywood songs, I just go to his sentiments. Recently also I saw a movie called Kala. I do not know how many of watches. And उसमें एक गाना है, बिखरने का शौक मुझे है बड़ा, समेटेगा मुझको तू बता जरा. So this song is so touching. I know that the Bollywood has made a different tone, different movement, but when I listen to the song now, I just see Krishna around me, and I am like Moti. I am all around, all over, all around, and I know I'm asking him, but I know that he is there to put a mala around me and take him with wherever he goes. I can go on. I don't know मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, but Radhe Radhe.
Thank you. Asha is the important thing. Very nice. And Shyamji, you've been outstanding. Last 2 years, you've just taken a flight, with regards to Krishna love, because you were all over the place previously, right? You said, I used to think this and then that, and now your manifestation of love for Krishna has gone to another level. And your grandfather had named you Shyam for a good reason, and now it's happening. I can see that. Beautiful. Keep decorating your sentiments, and it will happen in due course of time. That is the whole bhav. Is like what I think that was one of the quiz questions as well, right? Richness of the sentiment. So keep decorating it, and we have to preserve our bhav and keep decorating it. That is all bhakti is. Very nice. Thank you for sharing that, Shyam bhai. All right, let's move on.
Yes, there's a question in the chat as well, if I can quickly read it. K. Ganpriya ji is saying, do we proceed from one bhav to the others in some order? We don't ever have to put any effort for this to happen. Is it just bestowed on us by a divine guru only?
Yeah, it comes via grace of Guru. When you're working with a deep Rasik saint, these will start happening. Because you have already done sadhan bhakti, right? You remember we are in bhav bhakti now. So preparatory stage is already done. And then it's through grace of Guru, it will happen. Now, it's not like stages that you have to go through one and then to the other. Guru and God would know which one they will sprout at what stage, or maybe all simultaneously. We don't know, but it will happen through Guru's grace only. God's grace via Guru.
And Sushila ji says, thank you so much for sharing Kripalu Maharaj ji's story.
My pleasure.
All right, Snehal ji. Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So in sadhan bhakti, for a new person, coming in and getting to know about sadhan bhakti, but right now there is no guru. What to do then?
So we patiently wait for a guru. We do things basically which have made sense to us, and we patiently wait for Guru to manifest in front of us. It will happen. They say that when the disciple is ready, the master will appear. So we don't have to lose hope. We continue practicing the principles that make sense to us with a sincerity at heart and purity of heart, and God will make sure he will make sure that we find a guru, because he knows our intent, and he's waiting with open arms to bestow his grace upon us in form of a guru when he thinks we are ready. So it's said that based on our past sanskars and karmas, we have to hit a particular threshold when we meet a guru. So if our score was 8 and we are supposed to hit 10, the moment we touch 10, God will make sure the guru will appear. Okay, that is how it works. So we patiently wait for it, but we don't lose hope. And we continue working on the best that we have understood around spirituality and keep practicing it, and keep praying to God that, I want to meet you. I want a direction. I will need somebody who can guide me on this path. And God will, in due course of time, make sure you meet a person. Somehow it will happen. That is how it's meant to be. Otherwise, it will be a very unfair game, right? Have a guru. It will happen. It has to happen.
Thank you, Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Sumesh Kumar ji. Radhe Radhe, please.
Yes, Sumesh ji.
Radhe Radhe. For singing our soul beloved Guru.
Oh, you have cut for singing part today?
Yeah, today.
Sure. We'll get into a devotional segment. Anybody has any other question before we move to that? And after announcement, Sumesh, you'll get the first one. Yes. Maybe a couple of more we can take and then we'll move to the next segment.
Right. Swati ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Swati ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. I would like to explain my experience, whatever I have felt. I have completed 1 year in this JK for this 16 January last year. I started with Bhagavad Gita of your Nitin sir's class. That was the starting from JK, and 1 year I have completed here. And now in this 1 year period, what I have experienced, whatever now you showed that all symptoms, slowly that symptoms are coming in me. Last 1 week back, my full family had gone to Tirupati Balaji. And it was like, when I went there, I was like feeling that, oh, this Balaji did this year. His past time stories, whatever I know, that Padmavati, he got married, and then Bhargavi and Srinivas. So that I was like, oh, here this happened, here the marriage took place. So that everything I was imagining, that here happened this happened. And in that part, I was happy. But other time when traveling or doing some other pastime, I was like, oh, I'm wasting my time. I'm missing devotion. I'm missing my songs, bhajan and all. So it was like wastage of time I was feeling at the other time when we were not in this devotion part. Only that part when I was in this attachment, I was happy that, oh, I came here. And even while doing shopping, I had just 1 minute, I'll not complete it. Even while shopping also, one hair clip, it was 150 rupees. I was like, itna costly kyun lena hai? 10 rupees ka bhi clip se ho sakta hai. I can save that money and give for the Swamiji, for the building, for the university. I can jama karke thoda karke, I can at least give there. Why should waste money in unnecessarily? Who is going to see that clip? Itna 150 ka kya zarurat hai lene ka? So it was like that much. And if somebody talks me about Krishna, I'm so excited. So pura din non-stop I can talk about him. And I want to listen only about Krishna. Anything else somebody talks, I was like, abhi mut baat karo, mujhe nahi sunna hai tumse kuch aur. So ye sab bahut andar hai, chal raha hai inside me. Like, don't want to listen anything about Krishna and talk about him only. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Swati ji, for sharing that. It's beautiful, and I can understand the excitement, the palpable excitement because of this, because it's very natural to have that sentiment and feeling when you start treading this path and start experiencing this. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And we could take inspiration from some of the things that you spoke about. So thank you again for that. Okay, maybe a couple more and then we move to our devotional segment. Any more questions? By the way, tomorrow we will get into Prema Bhakti and some of the pillars of Bhakti, so don't miss out on that. Some more deeper concepts around this topic.
Should I also quickly make the announcements?
Yeah, please make the announcements, then we'll take a few hands and move to our devotional segment.
Right. So regarding announcements, first of all, Swamiji's India's tours are going on, and next he will be in Indore. So people near that area, please do not miss out on the opportunity to meet him. I have posted the link about the events in India. And apart from that, Sanskriti is coming up, Sanskriti International Extravaganza. It's a cultural competition for kids at Balmukund here in Dallas at the Radhakrishna temple. So people here should definitely come and attend and watch the kids performing excellent participation, and I think some of it will also be streamed online. So as it comes, we will know, and I'll share the link as well.
Plus, there will be walk-ins as well. So we have around 1,200 registrations right now, and there will be walk-ins. So if you have not registered, still undecided, please come over. There's a beautiful platform to showcase the skills that your kid has. And it's a wonderful platform for them as well to gain a lot of confidence in various competitions that take place. It's a very high quality program and it is getting bigger and better every year. So do check it out.
I am also excited to attend it for the first time. It will be amazing.
Not as a participant though, right? It's for kids only.
Watch it, enjoy the talent that the kids here have.
Okay, all right.
Awesome. So yeah, these were the main announcements for today, and feedback tracker. I've posted the link multiple times. Do fill it. Also, as Nitinji announced, now onwards, if you want to participate in shloka recitation or bhajan recitation, you will have to put it in the feedback track.
Yeah, please put it and we'll spin the wheel, get top 5 and top 3 for bhajan, shloka and bhajans respectively. All right.
Okay.
Is that all?
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
Family,
that's
family camp. We have it, you know that, right? So please do check out the schedule for all the events that we have here at RKT, here at Dallas, and do spread the word around. check it out, register, book your tickets, file for your tourist visa, whatever it takes, just come over. Okay. All right.
All right, Golabji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe, Golabji.
Radhe Radhe everyone, Radhe Radhe, Koti Koti Naman, Hari and Guruji, and more gratitude, Hari and Guruji, and all my Radhe Parivar and all the volunteers of JK team. And I would like to add in this session, the Bhav and Bhakti and sentiment also comes to me within God and Guruji every here and always. The Rudhyan and the Dhulamila and Dhulamila and Ras Maharaj stages also. So I would like to thanks Hari and Guruji Matumar, and now I one lines also to sing. Chal Sri Vrindavan Dham, Jahan Viharat Sri Sama Sam, Chal Sri Vrindavan Dham, Jahan Viharat Dana Sama Sam. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Golabji. Very nice. Thank you so much, Golabji. Very nice, beautiful bhajan, and thank you for sharing your sentiments around this. Loved hearing that from you. I'm sure a lot of people have gotten inspired as well. All right, maybe a couple more hands. Yes, Manisha ji, I think is raising for the first time. Let's hear
Yeah,
from
Radhe Radhe, Manisha ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Manisha ji.
Yeah, this is my first time I'm attending this. Yeah, through my sister, Payal. She suggested me. So that's it.
Okay.
So I have a question. Like, I am a Shiva devotee, and I have a guru, and I have a very, very strong bond with both of them. But like a few months back, I have attended the Bhagavad, and then after that, just Krishna love is like it's keep on increasing. So to say, I have all these bhavs for both of them. Now, if I have to go ahead on this journey, I have to have that Maharaji's grace as well to go on Krishna's like what to say.
Okay. And so basically, are you saying, am I going to change my Ishtadev? Am I going to change my guru and all that stuff? That's
Yeah,
what.
and though I got the opportunity to meet Swamiji in person in Ahmedabad, that too because of my sister. Yeah, so.
Payal, right? From Udhampur, she came all the way.
Yeah.
She came in Gujarat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. No, that is good. See, this is how you have to see it. See, when you are ready for see, we will talk about more bhavs also tomorrow, okay, of this bhakti. What are those bhavs? And when you are when you are ready for that bhav, your guru and Ishtadev only will tell you, they will not feel bad, they will actually feel good. Now
Actually, I asked,
yeah.
Actually, I was praying in front of Mahadev only. And after the very next day, I got the opportunity to attend the Bhagavad.
Okay.
And it was, and Swamiji also told me the same thing. And he told me that story of Narsingh Mehta. And after that, he was like, I'm not sure, but yeah,
so
the
Swamiji has told
bhavs
you,
are
right?
very, very intense at times for both of them. Like when I see Krishna, it's coming out like I am for no reason. I started crying, and the time I see
Embrace.
Mahadev or Guru, and
That's fine. Just embrace it. As you will deepen your loving relationship with God, you will realize it's the form, it's the same Ishtadev that you in a different mood. So maybe it's time for you to take your devotion to the next level. With Shiva, there are certain liberties you cannot take, right? Some Aishwarya Chintan would always be there. Respect or reverence would be there. With Krishna,
Always see him as my father.
exactly.
And
With
for Krishna is
Krishna
something
is
else.
right. So when we get into the bhavs, Madhurya bhav and all, that flexibility God gives, it's the same father. You know, in one place, father has worn a different cloth. He might be out for jogging or in his official mood. In some, he's just having loving pastimes with his family member. The father is same. So devotee does not get confused that this is different, that is different. They think that's the same father in a different mood. So maybe it was time for your Ishtadev to give you higher bliss. That is why he's facilitating that for you. I think Swamiji has already told you that, then there's no question about it. So embrace it rather than getting nervous about it. Okay, that is how I'll take it. And you are fortunate, you know, Krishna Bhakti is very durlabh. It doesn't come so easily. But if a Rasik saint bestows their grace, and if you had a past sanskars already, maybe it is manifesting now. Just embrace it and make the most of it. You shouldn't feel confused or nervous about it. It's like you're hitting a lottery and you're like, oh my God, now it's going to pour so much of money.
Actually, at times I just ignore. No, I can't listen to Krishna song because it's overpowering. Like it goes like I'm.
It's a good
At times
problem to
I'm
have.
restricting it, but
No,
I can't help it.
you need to embrace it. Okay. And I'm sure in due course of time, these doubts in your mind will also settle down where you can do it with full confidence. You're not doing anything bad. Okay. Shiva will not mind it. Your guru will not mind it. You are now ready for the next chapter, turning on the next chapter in your life. It's the same father, same guru, and taking you to the next level, basically facilitating that to the next level, nothing more than.
With the same guru, can I go ahead or I have to like?
Your guru will tell you that basically, can they give you Krishna Bhakti or not? You can have a very honest conversation with them. And if not, then your guru will, it's like passing on the baton. Now you are, you know, I will hand over the baton to the next one who can take your Bhakti to the next level. They will be very upfront about it and tell you that. Right? For Krishna Bhakti, you have to be a Rasik saint. And Brajras, only a Rasik saint can give you. Not everybody can give you. People will tell
Maharajji's, I saw Maharajji's videos just like last month only, and I got the opportunity to meet Swamiji after that only. And when I saw the Maharajji's videos, and I kind of felt that connection somewhere, but again, I was like, maybe.
आप पे कृपा हो गई. That's all I can tell you. And so just embrace it. Make the most of it. Radhe Radhe, and good to see you, and we'd love to hear more from you, Manisha ji. So please keep coming to our sessions.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more deeper topics about Bhakti, Prema Bhakti and all that stuff. You'll love it.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. All right. Are we done with our questions then, or we do have any more?
I think Samji and Manishji both have
had question. Okay, let's quickly take, and then maybe we can have a quick devotional segment because we are already over.
Right. Manishji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Sandhya ji, Nitin ji, and everyone. Wonderful session, Nitin ji. So I have a doubt, a quick clarification. In this Bhav Bhakti, this is still part of the Sadhan Bhakti, correct? Or
It is the fruit of sadhana. It is the goal of sadhan bhakti. The peak, when you reach the peak of sadhan bhakti, the goal of sadhan bhakti is bhav bhakti, and the goal of bhav bhakti is prema bhakti.
And the Bhav Bhakti starts once you have met a guru and accepted a guru in your heart.
Yeah, that's right. It's via Guru's grace. So all these symptoms that we spoke about, they get sprouted and nurtured, basically, and they start manifesting as well.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, my pleasure. Yes,
Radhe Radhe. Yeah.
Radhe Radhe, Nitin ji.
Doesn't have to be a question about Kansa, okay, today, please.
No.
Go ahead.
Did you say that Maharajji will take 3 more avatars?
One more. It is said that. Now don't hold me accountable for that. I have heard it. It's a hearsay, okay. So don't put my name anywhere for that, okay. That's what I've heard.
Okay.
So
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Devotees, no, devotees are sharing about their vows, right? I felt like wow, there are great devotees in these sessions. I haven't even entered bow. Still struggling in the lower levels of sadhana with so many distractions. When will I reach there? I'm thinking.
No worries, we are all here to help each other, right? So that is why I asked people to come forward and share. So we'll be fine by the end of these sessions, right? We'll all be in some stage of Bhav Bhakti, so don't worry.
Okay.
Keep attending and keep asking less questions about Kansa. It will happen, I'm telling you. Okay. See, bhav is a good thing to nurture. It's not the bhav in material world. Okay, why are you having bhav or bhav kyun kha rahe ho bhai? That is not that. This spiritual bhav is a very high sentiment, and we have to nurture it, protect it, and deepen it, and keep on decorating it. All right, so we are done with our session today. Yes, Sumesh, quick. Yes.
Is your spin wheel?
Okay. Yes, I think I need to spin the wheel to be very fair, Sumeshi, but I have a feeling that your name will come regardless. So let's spin the wheel. Shri Ramya is not here. Is not there.
Shri Ramya ji, are you there? If you're there, please raise your hand.
I think she's not there. Okay. That's why I'm saying Sumesh is destined to sing today. Now I know why you wanted me to spin the wheel. Go ahead, Sandhya.
No,
Sumesh ji,
I think Sumesh ji takes my chance.
why? You're not going to sing today?
I sang. My turn had come.
Oh, you already sang.
Yeah.
Okay, then Sandhya goes. All right. That's fine. Let's see again. Sumesh ji will keep spinning until you get your name, okay? There you go. It had to happen. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Radhe Radhe Sumesh ji, please go ahead.
Yes, Sumesh ji, your name has come. Congratulations. Can you please sing today?
Radhe Radhe, can you hear me?
Yes.
लिखन वाले तू हो के दयाल लिख दे मेरे दिल विच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे लिखन वाले तू हो के दयाल लिख दे मेरे दिल विच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे माथे पे लिख दे ज्योति गुरु की माथे पे लिख दे ज्योति गुरु की आँखों में उनका दीदार लिख दे मेरे दिल विच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे लिखन वालिया तू हो के दयाल लिख दे मेरे दिल विच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे जिव्या पे लिख दे नाम गुरु का जिव्या पे लिख दे नाम गुरु का कानों में शब्द झनकार लिख दे मेरे दिल विच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे लिखन वालिया तू हो के दयाल लिख दे मेरे दिल विच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे हाथों पे लिख दे सेवा गुरु की, हाथों पे लिख दे सेवा गुरु की, तन मन धन उन पे वार लिख दे मेरे दिल बीच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे। लिखन वालिया तू हो के दयाल लिख दे मेरे दिल बीच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे। पैरों में लिख दे जाना गुरु द्वार, पैरों में लिख दे जाना गुरु द्वार, सारा जीवन उनके साथ लिख दे मेरे दिल बीच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे। लिखन वालिया तू हो के दयाल लिख दे मेरे दिल बीच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे। एक मत लिखना गुरु का बिछड़ना, एक मत लिखना गुरु का बिछड़ना, एक मत लिखना गुरु का बिछड़ना, चाहे तू सारा संसार लिख दे मेरे दिल बीच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे। लिखन वालिया तू हो के दयाल लिख दे मेरे दिल बीच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे। मेरे दिल बीच गुरु का दीदार लिख दे। राधे राधे, थैंक यू।
Radhe Radhe Sumeshi, thank you. Very beautiful bhajan and very bhavpuri sung, bhavpurn sung. Beautiful, loved it. I saw Jyoti became happy when he said Mathe pe likh de Jyoti something, right? And Jyoti was like tick. Beautiful bhajan. Thank you so much. I think you prepared it especially for, you wanted to sing on the second anniversary, right? You didn't get a chance, I believe. A lot of people didn't get a chance. So that wheel is still spinning and a lot of pending there. Participants are still there, but we'll get, gradually. But thank you so much. Very nicely sung, Sumeshi.
I wanted a song is at the Jagat Gurutam Devas. I
Oh,
choose
Jagat Guru.
perfectly. Thank you.
But you got an opportunity, see, today. So very nice. Loved it. Thank you, Sumeshi. All right. Payalji has turned on her. You wanted to sing as well today? Not today. How was your experience meeting with Swamiji? See, you've gotten your sister also now, the session, and you made her meet Swamiji as well. So you get a lot of spiritual commission for that.
Yes, it was mind blowing, Nitinji. It cannot be explained in words. Wonderful, wonderful, such a blissful experience. I'll share it in one of the session for
Please
sure.
do. Please do.
Yes, I
Let
will
me
do
know.
that. I will
Text
do
me.
that.
We'll plan it that way. Okay. We'd love to hear
Definitely.
your experience and
Sure.
reflections on how that meeting went. Great.
There is a comment from Rajita ji for Manisha ji. Can I read it?
Yeah, please.
She says, I also feel the same and going on the same boat, Manisha ji. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, as it gave me feel of bliss, of togetherness, that I am not alone on all emotions and confusion on the path of devotion. So thank you.
All right. You've got a co-passenger now on the same boat. But I can assure you all these doubts will settle down because God wants us to deepen our devotion and not confuse us. So these phases will be very temporary. If you are, you keep seeking and you'll get answers to your satisfaction so that you can continue with your devotion. Just a phase, it'll pass away. Okay. Great. So with that, we come to the end of another engaging session today. Tomorrow we'll continue on this journey. We'll talk about Prema Bhakti and Bhakti in general, tomorrow. continue on this fascinating journey and have some more discussions. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day and a great rest of your evening. Stay blessed and stay inspired. And I will see you tomorrow. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you so much, Nitinji, for an excellent session once again. And Radhe Radhe, everyone. Have a good night and good day. See you all tomorrow.
See you all tomorrow.